Good evening, horror fans. This is I, Tim, coming from Horror For Dummies Studios, and I'm back with another episode of Blockbuster Rejects. What's Blockbuster Rejects, you ask? Well, let me just fill you in if this is your first time listening. Blockbuster Rejects is a quick little spin-off show dedicated to movies that have come from Blockbuster Video or any other video store that was abandoned or sold, and the DVDs were eventually sold off for very, very cheap. I have since picked those DVDs up, and I thought I'd go through them and give them a watch and make a little quick show out of it. These shows usually run for about 10 to 15 minutes, nothing more than that. And today's episode is dedicated to a movie called Rogue River. So, without further ado, let's get into the trailer.
My dad used to take me here when I was little.
I wouldn't do that if I was you. Littering remains is frowned upon in these parts.
My car's gone.
I can give you a ride if you want. I have to stop by my house, tell my wife.
There are some offers you can't refuse.
You didn't tell me we were gonna have company.
The sheriff towed her car.
You're not gonna get that car back until tomorrow.
Some people you can't walk away from.
You can't stay in some dirty motel in town. Why don't you show her the guest room?
From a producer of Prowl.
What are you doing?
Just watching you sleep.
I think it would be better if I left.
But that can't happen.
Someone was trying to get in.
I think you've had a bad dream. You'll be safe here tonight.
There you are.
I miss some young lady from California.
Sheriff, one more thing.
No. What do you want from me?
Haven't you figured it out yet? There's nothing but ugliness here.
There's a reason
Hold her still!
you don't talk to strangers. Rogue River.
This should sting, but just a little bit.
Rogue River from 2012. This one is rated R and is coming in at 4.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Let's go into the plot summary. So, while spreading her father's ashes, Mara meets John, who offers to give her a ride. Risking everything to escape this hell she's entered, she won't stop running until she finds safety. This is a story we've all really seen before. But before we get into that, let me just tell you who's in this movie. This stars Michelle Page, Chris Coy, Lucinda Jenny, and Bill Moseley. Bill Moseley and Lucinda Jenny play a married couple in this movie, and I just found out that in real life they are also a married couple. How about that? I might have to add that this also stars, and I cannot remember the actor's name, but if you all remember Abraham from The Walking Dead, he's in this movie. Okay, so my thoughts on this movie. I went in with a low expectation, to say the least. I haven't heard pretty much anything about this film. And, well, did I come out liking it? Not particularly, no. It's a low-budget film with a simple story, and it did little to impress, but in saying that, it did some things right. I can't not give it credit for that. The effects were decent, and Bill Moseley... Look, Bill Moseley is a good actor, all round. I don't think anyone can say no to that. I think we all agree that Bill Moseley is a good actor. I just think his choices in roles are questionable. The problems I had with this was mainly the sound. This was very, very soft dialogue, and the score. I actually don't think I noticed a score at all in this movie, which really takes you out of a film. I'm a big advocate for score music in the background. The acting wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best. It's middle range. Besides Bill Moseley, who did a decent job, the rest of it was so-so. The story as a whole was fine, but I feel we've seen this movie before. A girl stranded is taken in by a couple who eventually turn bad. We've seen it done before many, many times, and this one does nothing really that new. This was filled with plot holes. Not just that, unbelievable responses from characters. I had a lot of yelling at the TV with some of the things she does. For example, I'm going to go ahead and ruin this because I can pretty much say don't bother watching it. So I can, if you do want to go see it, pause here, but I'm not going to spoil it heaps, just a little bit. She sees her brother die, and her reaction, she doesn't really scream, she doesn't really do anything. There's no real reaction. Another point of this movie, which was good, I'll give it that, was an effect that happened to her. She's tied to a chair and she gets boiling water poured down her throat. Awesome scene, but once again, her reaction's not there. It's like she's getting cold water poured down her throat and she's not reacting at all. So that really took me out of the movie. Overall, look, this is not a horrible film. There are worse films out there. The Mummy is one. But this isn't a film that I would recommend anyone seeing. I feel that most people out there have seen this film before, and quite honestly, it's a waste of your time. So, look, I'm going to come in with a 4 out of 10 on this movie, and I say don't bother with it. So that's Rogue River from 2012. Well, that's another episode in the can for Blockbuster Rejects. If you like what we're doing, let me know. Let me know. I would really want to appreciate it. I'm basically doing this show mainly for me, so I can get through these DVDs. I have a reason to watch these DVDs. But if you guys are out there and actually listening to it, let me know. I actually want to know if there's people out there. Just give me a hi, a comment on the page and write hi, and then I'll know if you're actually listening. Now, what am I doing next week? Well, I thought that this gives me a good reason to watch a movie that I'm going to guess a lot of people out there are shocked I haven't seen before. This one is a well-known horror film, and one that a lot of people would probably put in their top 10 or top 20 of all-time horror films. I just haven't got around to it. And I will admit, I am cheating a bit because this one didn't come from Blockbuster. I bought this one, I just haven't gone out and see it. And without further ado, the movie is Salem's Lot from 1979. Yes, I know. I have never seen it before, and I think the reason why I've never seen it is because the runtime just threw me off. 3 hours and 7 minutes, IMDb says. So, yeah, hey, this gives me a reason to sit down and watch it, and I'm going to give you my thoughts, hopefully in a week. But, hey, until then, you stay classy and enjoy the soothing sounds of Zakk Wylde. This has been Blockbuster Rejects. I'm out!
Are you ready, Dime? I don't know, Zach. I'm kind of scared. Me too. Let's do it.
I've been around this world, yet I see no end. All shall fade to black again and again. This storm that's broken me, my only friend, yeah. In this river all shall fade to black. In this river ain't no coming back. In this river all shall fade to black. Ain't no coming back. Withdrawn, step away just to find myself. and the only one left. This storm that's broken me, my only friend, yeah. In this river all shall fade